welcome to Friday Nights with Emma. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm not going to have any sewing tonight. Bit controversial. So I thought I'd talk about something else. Quilting related. Well, totally quilting, like the quilting event of the year, which we missed last year. But I've got lots of new details and other stuff to talk about. So yeah, talk about Festival of Quilts, of course. So I'll give everybody a minute to join. Just give us a thumbs up, give us a little heart, let us know you're there. Mikey is behind camera. Got the old gin and tonic. New one tonight. A very, very belated Christmas present finally got here. Well, it was here, but we finally got to open them from my brother Simon. Thank you, Simon.
Dawn, Cheryl, Hillary, Joan.
Hello, Dawn.
Diane.
Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Hillary.
Jackie.
You went too
Christine.
fast. Hi,
Diane.
Christine. Hi, Diane.
Another Diane.
Hi, Diane.
Diana.
Hi, Diana.
Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Angie.
Hi, Angie. Hello.
Judy.
Hello, Judy. Oh, I'll tell you. Malfi gin.
Terry.
And Dutch tonic. That's very good.
Terry. Barbara.
Oh, hi, Terry. Hi, Barbara.
Lorna.
Hi, Lorna.
Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Judith.
Hi, Judith.
Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Beverly.
Hi, Beverly.
Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Claudia.
Hi, Claudia. Okay. So, tonight I've got more information about Festival of Quilts 2021. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's way too soon. And then there's a lot of people like, oh, yes, thank goodness, yet. Finally, we get to go and do something and see things. So, yes. So, if you're on the too soon, I completely understand. It's everybody at their own pace, how they want to do it. But I've got some information on what the Festival of Quilts are doing differently this year. So let me start with that. Now, go ahead.
Christine from
Hi, Christine.
Cold but Dry, Cornwall.
Oh, so cold.
Sandra.
So cold this week. Hi, Sandra.
And Iona.
Hi, Iona. So, I was scheduled to teach at the Festival of Quilts last year. Of course, that didn't happen.
Laurie.
Oh, hi, Laurie. So the same classes have been rescheduled for this year.
Fiona.
Oh, hi, Fiona.
Thanks for the amaryllis advice.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
And
that should work because they need it in the fridge because it stratifies them. They just need a little bit of cold, to sort of make them go through their cycle.
Debbie is a new watcher.
Hi, Debbie. Oh, hi, Debbie. Welcome.
Lorraine
normally
from Kent.
I do sewing. This week is a complete aberration to what I normally do because today I'm just going to be waffling on. So please bear with us. Join next week when I will definitely be doing some sewing.
Karen says no gin and Wigan, so open champagne instead.
Oh, roughing it.
And Sharon asks, will you be getting any more makeover ditzy white on white fabric? I have tried to order 6 meters, but you've only got 9 units.
Oh, yeah. Yes, message me and let me know which one it is that you want. Like, definitely. Oh, here's a link. Link, come here. Come on this side. Just message me and let me know which one it is that you're looking at. And I can get some of that ordered, definitely.
Beverly.
Hi, Beverly.
Karen loves the quilt you're on.
Oh, thank you. This is my, this is actually one of my classes.
Caroline.
The beginner class. Oh, hi, Caroline.
You're Sarah.
Oh, hi, Sarah.
Penny says she's planning on attending the Festival of Quilts.
Yes, I've got my hotel booked. I think it's going to be for those of you who do want to go, I think it's going to have to be definitely plan ahead and be quick because, okay, let me tell you.
Joanne and Mum Maureen.
Oh, hi, Joanne. Hi, Mum Maureen.
And Christine was surprised to hear about the Festival of Quilts being held.
I know. Well, so we're supposed to be all open end of June, and the Festival of Quilts is scheduled for July 29th through the 1st of August. So it's a little bit, maybe about a week earlier than it normally is in the year. But I think by then, we should be on it fairly even keel. But let me tell you what they are doing differently. Somebody's giving me funny looks because he thinks we're not going to be out of it till 2025.
Are you queer sweaty?
I am living in hope. So, one thing... Oh, and by the way, I went onto their website. So there's a Festival of Quilts website, and they do have all this information on there as well. So you can go and have a look for yourself. So they are extending the size of the show. So normally it's halls 7, 8 and 9. Oh, at the NEC, if I forgot to say, people don't know. Festival of Quilts at the NEC in Birmingham, 29th of July to the 1st of August. That's what it's planned for. So far, so good. They are making the space bigger. So they're going to add hall 6 to what they normally do, which is halls 7, 8 and 9. And that's to allow for social distancing. So they're not going to have more stuff. It's just going to be a larger space. They can spread out more. The aisle widths are going to be increased to 4 meters, which they say is 1 meter wider than what is recommended. So I think recommended, they said it's 3 meters, but they're actually going to 4 to be on the safe side. I'll link. Behave. The opening times are going to be extended to 9:30 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. And that's to accommodate staggered entry. So they're not going to let everybody all in at the same time. You're going to have a staggered entry. And from what I could read, they're going to be doing that based on when you buy your ticket. I think you're going to have to specify when you want to go in. I don't know if any of you have ever been to... This is a bit off... This isn't off topic, I promise. If you've ever been to the Harry Potter experience studio tour down in... Where is that, my love? Where did we go to see that? It's down...
North of London. Is it Watford?
It's outside London, isn't it? It's... I'm thinking it's at... Now I'm being a bit nerdy. It's at about between 10 and 11 o'clock on the M25. Somewhere around there. Anyway, if you've ever been there, it's the same thing. You buy your ticket and then you say what time you want to actually enter. So you go in, everything's already staggered. But then when you go into the venue, there's not a big group of people. You can take your time going through, you're not rushed, but it's just to even out all the visitors during the day.
Penny and Jackie say it's Watford, that's what I thought.
Okay, good, yeah. Oh, it's definitely worth a visit if you haven't been.
And your Sarah says we still need the weekend away.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Debbie did visit the Festival of Quilts 2 years ago. It was fab.
Yes.
Christine says you look very relaxed.
Oh, thank you.
Diane's watching.
I'm feeling a bit Ronnie Corbett-ish, you know? We've been watching, Michael was watching Ronnie Corbett the other day, and I'm feeling a bit Ronnie Corbett-ish in my chair.
Annette is watching.
Hi, Annette.
And Joanne says, there is room in your sewing room for a proper comfy seat.
Yes, this is like, it's going to be recovered at some point. It's one of those old-fashioned egg chairs.
And Joanne makes a good point. Not sure how they get people to leave. I think it would take me a whole day.
Yeah. So, okay, so Stagnant Entrance. They're going to have just one entrance and one exit. So they're going to have a flow of people so you don't go in and out of the entrance like you normally would. The workshops and the gallery spaces, pardon me, are going to be bigger. So that obviously you've got more space between people. So they're not going to increase the number of people in the workshops, but they are going to increase the space so that people can spread out more. They're going to stagger the workshops so that they can allow cleaning in between each workshop, so they can clean the room and whatever between the workshops. Let's see what else. Oh, they are going to limit the number of tickets available to buy, as well as the staggering. So that's why I said plan ahead. Yeah, if you definitely really want to go, make sure you're on top of when. Somebody's playing around with things. When you want to, when the tickets become available. There you go. Spit it out, Emma.
When is this again? So
the Festival of Quilts is July 29th to the August 1st. So it's a Thursday to a Sunday.
I'm convinced Boris Johnson said July 17th all social measures are rescinded if everything goes according to plan.
Yeah. So that's why we're planning.
Yeah, but that's after the July 17th.
Yes, July
so
29th.
There would be no need for social distancing.
Oh, well, they're being on the safe side, okay?
Okay.
That's what they're planning at the moment.
You know what they say, plan. I'll be quiet. I'm in one of those moods, excuse me.
Somebody get him a cider or something. Tickets are going to be going on sale in May. Let's see. Face coverings at the moment will still be required by everybody. There will be hand washing and or sanitizing stations, hand sanitizing stations. And temperatures are going to be checked at some venues if possible. So there will be all that going on. So that's all the measures in place. Again, if you go onto the Festival of Quilt website, there's a tab or there's a section that says keeping you, if you go to visitors, and then there's another thing that says keeping you safe. On the keeping you safe, that's where it lines out all the measures that they're going to be taking.
Karen says she has a chair to recover to cover too. It's to-do list.
Yes, I've actually got one in.
Tongue twister there.
Yeah, I've actually got one in progress in the living room. It will happen. I got waylaid because I was out of tacks, so I had to wait for the tacks, and I'm trying to be.
We seem to collect discarded and broken chairs.
They're not broken.
You know, homeless chairs that randomly.
Well, I would be working on that one, so I'm trying to be considerate because it requires hammering. And you don't want me hammering in the evening when you're, playing your video games.
When is that ever?
Okay, I'll be doing it next week. Right, so that's all the Festival of Quilts. That's all the social measures around it. That's when it's happening. Now, what I really want to talk to you about today is entering quilts for competition.
Joanne says she does the same thing with sewing machines. I saw one going for scrap, so I had to rescue it.
See? They need us. They need us. It's just like plants. They need us. They need to be rescued. So, I know a lot of people are daunted by entering competitions. I am as well. And it can be it can be a bit of a stressful experience, depending on what your feelings are and your expectations are. So I have avoided it myself because I know it brings up a lot of emotions, if I put it that way. And yeah, feelings that aren't always good. So this year, I have to admit, I have decided I'm hoping to have at least 2 things entered. Well, it's my quote, if I can get it done. So I definitely want to enter that. Oh, I'm just showing you because I got the panel cut because I'm quite excited about that. I'm really happy how it came out. And another quilt which I've got it's still in my mind at the moment. I have all the fabric, but the design itself is still in my mind, but it will happen. And so what I want to go over is how the quilts are judged. Now I've got an explanation of the judging form and criteria, which I printed off from the Quilters Guild website. So I was just going to go through what all the criteria are and how they're judged, basically. Now, once I've talked to you all about that, I will have a bit of advice at the end. So bear with me. So the first criteria that the judges look at are, does that quilt or that particular item actually fulfill the category rules and themes? So when you go to enter anything into the Festival of Quilts and the competition, you've got different categories, and then the categories have, it's not a very big explanation, it's a very short blurb paragraph about what that category, what the brief is basically for quilts that should go into that category.
Sarah is watching.
Oh, hi Sarah. And so that's the first thing that they check is, does that quilt or that item fulfill the brief for that category? I don't know if you've been watching the pottery throwdown. Me and Michael have been watching it, but I've been our guilty watch. Well, not really guilty watch, but we really enjoy it actually on a Sunday night. But if you watch that, you can actually follow, even though somebody might have made a bit of pottery that is really good and nice, it didn't actually meet the criteria that they asked for, and so it might have been rejected based on that, which is harsh, but I guess that's the first thing you have to do, is you'll have to tailor what you're making to fit that category.
Sue is watching.
Oh, hi Sue. Second thing they judge on are visual impact. So does it have a wow factor? Does the color, are you bowled over by the color? So does it make you go a little bit wow? Does it catch your eye? If the design, even if it's subtle, does it make a statement? Does it draw you in to have a closer look? Do you stand in awe of the workmanship? Third thing they look at is originality and or content. So how original is the design or technique used? Is it a commercial pattern or a kit, or in the style of a well-known quilt maker? Was it made in a workshop? This is where it's helpful for the judges to have access to the quilt maker's statement. So when you submit something, you have to write a statement about that piece anyway. And is there integrity of content? Now, I'm not entirely sure what they mean by that. Is there integrity of content? Because if you're making a quilt from a pattern, you are obviously going to be making it per the pattern. So it's not your original design, but it is from somebody else's design. So not everything is going to be original. So I'm not quite sure what they mean. It's not like in writing where you can't plagiarize somebody else. You know. So I don't know what they quite mean by that. I might see if I can find out. But yeah, that's a question mark. If somebody knows, please write down in the comments, because I don't know what they mean by that. Next thing is composition. Is it balanced, harmonious and unified, or is it lopsided and disjointed? So basically the overall quilt design, does it make sense? Pretty much. Is it... Go ahead.
Joanne suggests maybe it means you are honest about where the idea came from.
Oh, that could be true. That could be true. I could see that. That would make sense. Yeah, so is the composition harmonious, basically? So you don't have all your piece blocks in one corner and nothing down the end, unless it's a modern one, and then that would make sense, because you need to have blank spaces. So.
Christine says, on a positive level, your coat has definite wow effect.
Oh, bless you, thank you. Yeah, I'm quite excited. I just need to get the piecing done. That's the hand piecing is the time-consuming part on that one.
Beverly also maybe suggests that you have credited the person whose pattern it is.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one is choice and suitability of materials. So there's a lot of choices as far as materials go, but they don't always work in every technique. So making sure that the material that you used is acceptable, and what is judged is the success of its use in each situation. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't use velvet on a quilt because it's supposed to be cotton if it's used so that it doesn't, yeah, so it's not going to fall apart and the first time you wash it, then I imagine that would be fine. Let's see. Border design and or edge treatment. And not all quilts have borders, and some of them don't need them. And quilt edges. So quilt edges are things like you can have a scalloped edge, or the prairie points. Remember the prairie points that I did once? Those can be along the edge. Pardon me. Pardon me. So how those are done. How well was the binding applied? If the quilt maker used a square binding method, how neat were the corners? This is where a little bit more of the technical stuff comes in. Technical as in precision. How neatly was the binding sewn down on the back? And basically whatever edge treatment you use, how well does that fit into the overall design of the quilt, and does it enhance it?
Beverly entered the quilt in the Glasgow last show. It was strange seeing her work hanging in the hall.
Yeah, it can be. It's a very personal thing because it's 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 like a piece of you hanging up there for everybody to look at and judge. So it is a very it's a very emotional thing. Next thing to look at is quilting design. A very important part of the quilt by adding texture in the form of light and shadow. As a quilting design been carefully thought through to add something more to the quilt top design? Are there areas that would benefit from more or less quilting? Now, presentation. So does the quilt hang well? Is it clean? The seam allowances. So are the seam allowances, they mean by that is can you see them through? So remember we say always press to the dark side because you can see the dark fabric through the light paler fabric on top if you sometimes. That's what they're looking for. Make sure you can't see any dark fabric through like white or something sheer. Some of these things are a bit, ooh, are they clean? So are there no cat or dog hairs on it? Cigarette smoke, blood stains, and the like. Yeah. No seam allowances shadowing through, which is what I said. Have intersections in the piecing where there are many layers coming together been handled to lie as flat as possible. So that is a pressing technique. That is, that's getting quite technical. So where you've got, say, in the middle of an 8-pointed square, is that center of the 8-pointed square lying flat or is it sticking up, basically? How neat and tidy is the back of the quilt? Are there any threads hanging? Does the bobbin thread tone in with the backing fabric? Now, I'm not entirely sure if I agree with that, because I'm not sure that the bobbin thread needs to tone into the back of the fabric. I always saw that as a design choice, but it's in here. Is the backing laying flat or is it puckered and pleated? Yeah. And then they talk to you about how to pack your quilt for showing, the best way to avoid creases. And then the last thing that they look at are the construction. So this is where the technical detail comes in, the precision, basically. So the piecing, how well are the seams matched at the intersections? Do the pieces lay flat or are there pleats or folds? Are curved seams smooth where they should be? Are straight seams straight? Sashing and borders of equal width and parallel? So just basically technical precision in all of that. Applique is the same. How well have they been appliqued? Are the curves smooth, points sharp, inside corners well handled? Thread matched to the fabric? Invisible stitches with enough stitches? Choice and execution of techniques. This is one. So there should always be a design reason for the inclusion of a technique. Filling a quilt with as many techniques as possible doesn't usually work unless it is a sampler of techniques. So this is a little bit, I would say, design related. It's the use of embellishment or surface design. So that's things like beadwork or hand or machine embroidery, computer printing, painting, stenciling, screen printing, and they will be judged on their success in adding to the overall design. And then your quilting stitches, whether hand or machine, domestic or long arm, all quilting stitches should be even as in they should be the same length, basically. Hand quilting stitches should show through to the back and be as even as on the top. Hand quilting stitches do not have to be small. Machine quilting stitch tension should be good, top and bottom, unless it is a deliberate feature. Okay, almost there, I promise. Quilting lines and curves. All straight line quilts should be straight and all curved lines should be smooth curves, points to be sharp. The traditions of Kantha and Sashiko quilting should be adhered to in traditional interpretations. Quilting starts and finishes, so hand quilting knots should not be visible on the top or the back of the quilt. And machine quilting starts and finishes should be neatly handled so that the thread is anchored and the stitches don't unravel. And then where one or more of these sections are not applicable, then there's no disadvantage in the rating of the quilt. It's just not applicable. If it's not there for them to judge, they can't judge it. And then in their comments, the judges' comments, so they aim to write more, but largely they want to convey what is positive about the quilt and encourage where there is room for improvement. Yeah, and then the last thing is that they rely on the quilt makers to be honest when they fill in their entry forms. The rules about what constitutes a group quilt, a two-person quilt, an amateur and a professional are all clearly set out in the rules. And if you have any doubt, please contact the organisers. So this can be found on the Quilt Guild website. Don't ask me where I found it. It wasn't too difficult because I think it only took me like 2 or 3 clicks to actually find it. So it should be fairly easy. I did find a little bit more information if you are interested in becoming a quilt judge. The Quilt Guild runs a course. I'm not sure when the next one will be now with lockdown, but the judge courses, I think they run for about 6 months, and the cost is £1,600, so £1,600. But that doesn't include any incurred expenses that you might have taken the course. So if you have to travel somewhere or print something or buy something, that isn't included in that. And they also require you to become a paid, or require you to have a subscription to the Quilt Guild to take the course. So you have to become a member. You have to pay to become a member of the Quilt Guild in order to take the course.
Christine asks, are there any rules regarding machine, hand, and long arm quilting?
No, the only thing that says about the rule is that the technique, the quilting itself should be of good quality. Starts and finishes should be well anchored so that the thread doesn't unravel. But no, there is no rules. So that's one thing I will say, because I have said it, I don't think there are enough categories in the Festival of Quilts. I think just having traditional, contemporary, modern, I think it would be nice to have them a bit more split out so that they do have a category for hand quilting and for machine quilting and long arm quilting. Well, not necessarily machine quilting, long arm quilting, I'd say probably about similar, but definitely separate out the hand quilting, because I don't see how they can judge or compare a hand quilted piece to a machine quilted piece, because the method of doing it is so completely different. But that's just my opinion. So I do wish they would separate the categories out a little bit more to tease out some of those differences. So teasing out maybe applique versus pieced, things like that.
And asks, what does it cost to enter a quilt of interest?
Oh, that's one thing I want to say it's about £10. Only because I remember I did put one into one of the Grosvenor shows and it was £10. Let me have a look. I'll have a look and I'll post it on. It's not absorbent by any means, but there is a bit of a fee involved. So let me have a look at that. What were you going to say?
Joanne says she would be worried about handing over a quilt or posting it.
Yes, there's a lot of people that are nervous about that. A lot of people will actually arrange to deliver their quilts to the festival, and I think they start setting up on the Wednesday. So a lot of people will actually hand deliver their quilts to the festival on the Wednesday, and if you stay till the Sunday evening, you can, or at least you could, I don't know, in COVID times, you could stay and you could actually recover your quilt then and there when they take them down after the show closes. So you don't have to rely on that, but so you can at least you could hand deliver and collect it back. Yeah. I haven't heard anything terrible about anything going missing. So now, having said all of that, like I said at the beginning, entering a quilt is a very emotional thing. So just my personal opinion, I think the mindset that you ought to have, because it is lovely to go to the Festival of Quilts, and it is lovely to see all the different techniques and all the different levels and all the different visions and ways of doing things and fabrics. I wouldn't discourage anybody from entering the competition, but I would put them into the competition with the mindset of, I'm just entering it so it can be displayed, without the idea that it's going to win anything. So just for it to be displayed. If it wins, great. Because I think if you enter it with the idea that or comparing yourself to the others in that category, or you're comparing yourself to the winners in that category, I think, yeah, at least for me, it wouldn't be very healthy. I wouldn't be able to, yeah. So I need to, from the get-go, to just let it go and just enjoy the quilts and not really pay attention to what has won, because in the past I haven't necessarily agreed with all of the winners compared to what has been in that category, but I'm not a judge, what do I know? So yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. But I would encourage you to enter your quilts, because it is lovely to see them. It is really lovely for everybody to see them, and it is a really good feeling, actually, especially, just like, oh, that's my quilt, it's there, and to go and see it, have your picture taken in front of it if you go and visit there. It's really cool. It is a really cool feeling just to see it hanging up, with everybody else. So I would definitely recommend it. Is there any other questions? No, being quiet. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave it there for tonight then. And yeah, I'm planning to be at Festival of Quilts. I'll definitely be teaching on the Sunday morning. I'll be doing the hand piecing workshop, the American hand piecing workshop on Sunday morning. I will also be doing the tessellation bird quilt. I think it's on the Thursday or the Friday. It's an all-day one, from what I remember. Yeah, I haven't really. I should know, but for me, end of July is so far away in the future that I'm thinking I'll really concentrate on that, when I need to. And at the moment, I don't really need to. But I do know that hand piecing is on a Sunday morning. I can tell you that for sure. So yeah. So hopefully that was interesting. Have a look on the websites and see, what you think, if you're comfortable on that going. You have to make a decision now. Tickets aren't available till May anyway, so anything could happen between now and May. And I'll wish you a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Good night, all.